Med Flight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security forces is handling the situation.
David Cheek of Flemington says he's been seeing hovering orbs of light.
I can't describe it because I've never seen it before, so people think you're crazy. And it just sat there, and all of a sudden it just, like, you literally blink and it's gone.
And he was hoping to see National Grid working on some lines, and that is when he saw flashing red, blue, and white lights coming from the sky. This is some of the video that he sent us that you're seeing here. He said it spooked him. Although Scott Kibbe did not realize what it was at first, he says the drone was moving in all sorts of directions. Both sheriffs for Albany County and Saratoga County say they've received numerous phone calls from residents about this as well.
I really was kind of not sure what I was doing and seeing, so I was even more skeptical. That's why I wanted to get video. I was very surprised. It was there for a lengthy period of time. I'd say that it was in that space for at least 45 minutes.
These three lights were in a sort of a triangle kind of formation, an odd looking thing, and I'm thinking that doesn't look like a plane. It started flying erratically.
Witnesses at first thinking it was aircraft heading to nearby Camp Pendleton.
You could hear them, and you couldn't hear this thing.
Angel says he's uneasy after seeing 5 zip over his head toward the Pacific Ocean.
You know, it's just kind of scary to think like who's watching, and the fact that we contacted the sheriffs. The Murrieta PD commented on a post of mine. Nobody knows whose they are.
After a burst of drone activity lighting up the night skies above several states, including New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and Ohio too now. Just the other night over the weekend, we had one in Dayton above Wright-Patt Air Force Base, believe it or not.
Officials have not confirmed if these sightings are linked to those that recently happened near the East Coast.
It is why isn't anybody talking? The regulations are clear. You don't fly in restricted airspace. I mean, there's not a drone operator out there that is that dumb.
Questions about mysterious drone sightings are continuing to grow across the country. Now they're getting closer to home.
Naval Weapons Station Earl in Middletown also confirmed several new sightings in the last 24 hours.
Oh, it creeps me out. It freaks me out, yes.
Back in October, the Pentagon confirmed unidentified drones flew over Langley Air Force Base here in Hampton. Today, the House Homeland Security Committee says they want answers.
Unidentified drones were spotted over a U.S. airbase in Germany and sensitive industrial sites, including arms makers and chemical plants. That's according to the Spiegel News magazine, citing a confidential report by German security authorities. The report flagged numerous drone sightings made in the evening hours of December 3rd and 4th over the airbase. It's unclear who was flying the drones.
McDonald says geo-tracking on drones makes it extremely difficult to fly them in restricted airspace without being caught. He says the drone shouldn't even be able to start near the Air Force Base.
Those airspaces are tightly controlled, and people get arrested for accidentally getting too close to one. So to have these things flying everywhere in the numbers that they are, somebody knows about it.
It's just like this ominous presence, which is not a comfortable feeling.
Rebecca Landerman from Palm Beach County tells me she believes she saw these drones while driving on the Florida Turnpike north of Port St. Lucie.
Give us any kind of answer and it's less scary, but you just don't know why it's there.
And right before it got to the stoplight, it turned off this way.
Alex Rodriguez Torres drives us along Port St. Lucie Boulevard to where he believes, this drone.
When it shifted and I could see the outline of the whole shape, which was circular, I was like, I can't believe this is a drone in our town like the one in New Jersey, in this little Port St. Lucie, you know?
Did it freak you out at all?
A little bit. I mean, it's strange to see that.
But he's not the only one. Viewers from the Treasure Coast of Palm Beach County have been sending us video and pictures of what they believe are drones after weeks of sightings all along the East Coast.
Not a plane. That is a drone.
It's just like this ominous presence.
The controller can be heard describing the situation as it unfolded Friday night.
And I gotta keep the lights down so that security forces can see.
A Wright-Patt spokesman confirmed the sightings to WLWT, saying small unmanned aerial systems were spotted in the vicinity of and over Wright-Patterson Friday night into Saturday morning, closing the airspace for several hours.
All aircraft use extreme caution. Patterson-class Delta is now closed for heavy UAS activity.
The sightings, similar to the ones spotted on the East Coast.
That's crazy. That's something else. This world come changing by the day.
It's just kind of scary because I only live 2 minutes away from here and I live close to the base. So it's like if it's something fishy, they need to go on, get away from the base because
The way John has been reacting to things, I know they know. The question becomes, why aren't they telling us what they know? And this is where there's a mystery. These things are flying, obviously, with lights on. They're following FAA rules mostly. So it's either one of two things. It's either a secret U.S. project. That's why Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas said nothing to worry about.
When the sun goes down, the drones come out, sometimes flying solo, but at other times flying in groups that look like organized formations. New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer says he's fed up with the lack of explanation.
I think if these things are foreign, you shoot them down. If they're ours, you say, hey, we're doing an experiment. I actually was on air the other day, and one of my colleagues asked me, it's like, well, could it be a secret experiment? It's like, we do secret experiments all the time, Sam. That's why they're secret. Nobody observes them. So, you know, it's kind of an awkward situation. So at this point, it's a mystery. Look, I think it'll be cleared up by next week at some point. Somebody's got to tell the truth about what's going on.
The plot has thickened even more.
Yeah, so many questions following the sightings. The FBI and the White House still say they don't know the origin. They also say they don't have any evidence that the drones pose any sort of threat. Still, though, Wright-Patterson is asking people in this area if they see anything suspicious, including drones, to report it to either security forces or the local police department.
Look, the fact that they're out there saying there's no evidence means that they have no knowledge. They don't know what this is. And yes, of course, some of these wind up being manned flight, but not 5,000. And what's really tragic or frustrating to us in Congress is that the FBI has known about this since the beginning of November, and we're getting informed, just like with the Chinese spy balloon, after the public sees it and raises concern. And that's really unacceptable. We're a co-equal branch of government. The Constitution's pretty clear, and they should have been communicating with us a lot sooner. And it's worse than just here in the U.S. I mean, we've had it happen over Ramstein Air Base in Germany. The DOD has the authority to shoot these things down. Northcom has the authority to shoot them down. And nothing yet has happened. And you can't find out what these things are until you get one in your hands. You got to get it, hack it, and download the data. That's the only way to discover it. DHS and DOJ and DOD have the authorities. They just haven't acted.
Just want to pull this up as well. Here are some New Jersey residents and what they said to the New York Times. I think it's like an invasion. I feel like our privacy is kind of invaded. Or the kids are all asking, what's going on? Why do we have to close all our blinds? What's real and what isn't? Personally, I'm exhausted. So I think that's a really good point what you said. No evidence doesn't mean no knowledge. But is there some way that the government could reassure people so that they don't have their kids worried, especially if it's just an airplane?
Well, we know for a fact it's not DOD. I mean, if they were flying test drones or some agency of the federal government, they would own it. They'd say, yeah, we didn't alert people and sorry about that. And that would put an end to this. We know that's not the case. And we know all of them are not manned aircraft because if that were the case, they would say so. So, yeah, no evidence that it's X, Y, or Z, foreign or criminal. That means they don't know.